So right now we are just happy that there's a little bit of a break in terms of those high temps.
Yeah, a little bit cloudier, a little bit cooler, but the clouds, we are remaining dry. The fourth driest start to a given season in Albuquerque. The driest start in a given season on this day in history was 2011 in Albuquerque. Only 0.16 inches of equivalent rainfall precipitation so far this season in Albuquerque. A little bit of a wet snow and grapple, of course, in January, February, but ever since then, only barely a little bit of rain. And despite, again, the clouds and the increase with a few light showers, which are not reaching the ground, yeah, we are very dry at the surface, not only in southern New Mexico, but even more so to the north. And a few of these showers may be reaching the ground in the high elevations of the Sierra Blanca range, parts of the western mountain communities, but generally, as these clouds move northward, they'll spark up maybe a few thunderstorms today that won't likely reach the ground because of the low humidity, below 50% from Albuquerque to the southwest for the most part. A more humid morning, though, out east, so where those storms will form in the Pecos River Valley. Some of the rain may reach the ground, and also we may have some severe weather to talk about. We're getting closer and closer to the peak of severe weather season. Very mild and a little bit more humid this morning out to the east. Roswell, 60 degrees. Meanwhile, 50 in Santa Rosa, 55 at the Sunport, 47 in Santa Fe. One of the warmest starts on this day in history, not only in those areas, but look at that. Socorro, 61 and 66 in Alamogordo, but calm and cold in Taos, 31, 28 Alamosa, 32 in Cortez. We're seeing at 31 in Grants, 45 in the Reserve, with maybe a few light rain showers nearby. And widely varying temperatures across the metro. 31 in Moriarty, 37 Edgewood, 46 in Tijeras. Meanwhile, 49 Rio Rancho Bernalillo, and 55 at the Sunport. Once again, the Sunport experiencing one of the warmer temperatures in the immediate Albuquerque metro. Either way, temperatures mostly above, not only freezing across the metro by at least more than several degrees, but also above normal for this time of year. We do notice the poor air quality because of the patchy dust we saw yesterday, kind of just lingering just above the surface. But generally good visibility above. That's why we can see the light Sandy Crest. 55 at the Sunport with calm winds, not mixing that dust just above the surface around. 34% humidity. So if you guys are prone to poor air quality, just make sure you wear a mask, drink plenty of water throughout the day. It's going to be another very dry and very warm one. We got to 79 yesterday. I think will be very similar for today. Now a little bit cooler to the southeast because of the clouds and the slightly higher rain chances. To the southwest from the TRC to Deming, a little bit dustier, a little bit warmer in the high 70s, low 80s, and still very mild air in the northern tier in the 70s, widespread from the Four Corners to the northern mountains, and even Clayton will be in the high 70s, near record high temperatures expected for a few areas. Partly cloudy at 78 in Albuquerque. Still warm, still dry, but a little bit breezier out there and a bit gustier with some of these showers and storms in southeast New Mexico that again may reach the ground in the form of rain, but also not only in the form of rain, but rain-cooled air as those thunderstorms eventually have rain drops that reach the ground. But a lot of these showers in the East Mountains through the Western Mountains may not even reach the ground. Albuquerque, I think, will be mostly dry out there. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk, a 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather in far southern and eastern New Mexico. And these darker green colors symbolize the threat of not only strong winds, but some lightning-induced wildfires, some small hail, and some moderate bouts of rainfall. Not really amounted to too much, though. Locally, maybe a quarter of an inch at best in terms of rain under some of the stronger thunderstorms. But more moisture is still in place, though, so the thunderstorm activity will be mostly in the Pecos River Valley to the Permian Basin, and very light rain showers in the high elevations elsewhere. But even drier tomorrow with stronger wind gusts in excess of 25 to 45 miles per hour from the Four Corners, eventually to the northeastern highlands. That will spark up the potential for fire danger, even more widespread for tomorrow, from the Sierra Blanca range all the way to Hidalgo County in the Mimbres Valley. Fire weather watches for tomorrow. Durango, 70s today, but breezier, cooler, and cloudier as we head throughout the weekend. And Purgatory, Wolf Creek, you guys are still open for business for skiing, snowboarding, but more snow melt ahead, but cooler this weekend. Upper 70s and 80s in parts of the Four Corners. Farmington, you get to 80, the second earliest 80-degree day on record in a given season. That was yesterday, maybe a smidge cooler today. And places like Grants and Gallup, very mild. Deming and Las Cruces, cloudier, and maybe a few raindrops nearby, especially in Cloudcroft, Ruidoso in the 50s and 60s today. Carlsbad, Hobbs, a little bit cooler, but still very mild. with a few showers and storms nearby, highs in the 70s. Tucumcari near 80, Morad near 70, and in the Enchanted Circle, very mild in the 60s and 70s. Santa Fe, Española, 70s in the short term, but cooler this weekend and a bit breezier. Moriarty, Tijeras, Cedar Crest, to from Rio Rancho to Berlin and Albuquerque, highs in the 70s and 80s. Still very mild tomorrow and drier, but will cool off this weekend, maybe not even reaching 70 on Sunday, but will warm back up next week.
All right, looking forward to the roller coaster because at least we're in the high 60s and 70s. We're not in the low teens and 20s.
Right. At least not too much of a roller coaster and not too windy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, middle ground.
Right?
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan.